Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to the day 74 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. Alright, so I'm sure you guys have all heard by now that the Golden State Warriors blew another lead. And I'm not saying that to be funny or trying to poke fun at Golden State Warriors fans. Why? Because I don't hate the Golden State Warriors. It's just a fact. They blew another lead. This time it was to the Memphis Grizzlies. This is the second time this season they have lost to the Memphis Grizzlies. Once they were blown out by the Memphis Grizzlies, and this might have actually been worse than a blowout because having a 24-point lead and watching it slip away and losing in overtime, that's heartbreaking. And it's not even just that they lost, it's the way that they lost and how the team basically fell apart towards the end of the game. Once the Grizzlies took the lead, once they tied it, actually you could tell that the game was pretty much over. You already knew the outcome of that game. The Warriors had begun to beat themselves at that point, especially when Kevin Durant decides the Warriors are up 2, right? Around 20-ish seconds left in the game. There's a play call, but Kevin Durant decides to call off the play call and call an isolation play for himself instead. This is what I'm sure has Warriors fans triggered and everyone else in the NBA laughing. So no one at this point really likes Kevin Durant. Warriors fans are upset with him and everyone else is like, ha, that's what you get. So he decides to ISO on Zach Randolph. Now, granted, Kevin Durant on Zach Randolph is a matchup you will take 99% of the time, except he went for the play that basically got him nowhere in OKC. He went for the same play. I swear when I was watching this, I swear when I saw this, that I basically saw him in an OKC uniform because he did the exact same thing that he did in OKC. He did the little ISO, he did a couple dribbles, pull up, takes a contested 3 in Zach Randolph's face. That's his go-to play in the clutch, and that's a problem because that's not a good go-to play in the clutch. I know people will say, yeah, he shot with 7 seconds left, there's not much time to make a play, but he called for the ball, he had the ball with like 15 seconds left on the shot clock. They were supposed to be running a play. The smart move in that situation would be to run a play, not take a pull-up 3. Kevin Durant, before that shot, you hadn't made a 3. You hadn't made a 3. You didn't make a 3 this entire game. It was the team that when you had the 24-point lead, it was because of the team. It wasn't because of you. If anything, it was more Stephen Curry because of you. Stephen Curry had a 40-point night, and yet you decided to call off the play to say, you know what, screw all y'all, screw the coach, I got this. And you missed it. You were missing free throws in the fourth quarter. Maybe this was your way of trying to bank on yourself to make it up to your team because you know that missing all those free throws was hurting you. So maybe your ego was hurt. Maybe the pressure had gotten to you. I don't know, but you cracked under pressure. You should have just went with the team because a win gets rid of all those free throws that you missed and how badly you played in the fourth quarters. You gambled. You gambled on making a 3 and turning yourself into the hero of the situation. Maybe that 3 makes them forget about everything else you've done in the fourth quarter, but it didn't work. And that's just one of the problems. Kevin Durant has to figure that out. Draymond Green let him have it. Draymond Green let him have it. He said, that's not how we do things here. That's basically not how we do things here. That's great leadership from Draymond Green, by the way. Absolutely fantastic leadership from Draymond Green. That's what you want out of a leader. He doesn't care that Kevin Durant was an MVP, He doesn't care about any of that. All he knows is he did the wrong thing and he let him hear it. But that's just one of the problems. The other problem is Golden State Warriors are now 31-6. 31-6, that's a fantastic record. But then if you look at the 6 losses, well, one was to the Lakers, which you can kind of excuse. No offense to Lakers fans. A win is a win and loss is a loss, but we're talking about in the playoffs here. The Lakers most likely aren't going to be in the playoffs. But let's look at the 5 losses that they did have. They lost to the San Antonio Spurs. They got routed by the San Antonio Spurs. They lost to the Houston Rockets. It was a great game, a close game, but they lost to the Houston Rockets. They lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers came down from 14 in the fourth quarter. They lost to the Grizzlies twice, once in a blowout and once the Grizzlies came back from 24. 5 teams, and they were all really, really bad losses. Well, the Houston Rockets, I wouldn't say was a really, really bad loss. It was just a loss. And the Houston Rockets are basically because they can they're one of the basically the only team that can offensively keep up with the Golden State Warriors. That's basically how the Houston Rockets won. But the other teams, everyone knew ever since that first game against the San Antonio Spurs what the Golden State Warriors weakness was. They are weak to good post players. The Spurs have Marcus Aldridge, they have Paul Gasol. They got exposed there. And then the Grizzlies, of course, they have Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol. Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol helped to expose the Warriors there last night too. So this is a common thing, that and blowing leads. Yo, the blowing leads thing, right now when things start to go bad for the Golden State Warriors, they don't brush themselves off and start playing well again. No, they completely crumble. I mean, they crumble to dust once the slightest thing starts to go wrong, a team starts to gain momentum after being down. The Warriors believe that after being up like 15 to 20, the other team is just supposed to roll over and play dead. Now, against like a lesser experienced team, against a non-veteran team, that might be true. That team might give in, that team might not fight back. But when you're going against tested teams, veteran teams, that's not gonna work. They're gonna fight back, and once they do, the Warriors just lose it. That's just how it is. So they need to understand that they have to keep the foot to the gas pedal the entire 48 minutes. The entire 48 minutes, because if not, this will continue to happen, and they might just end up blowing another 3-1 lead. Originally I was going to talk about the Houston Rockets in this video and why I think they need to get some more respect than they do get. They won again last night over the Orlando Magic, but I'm probably going to say that Houston Rockets video for another time, or else this video might wind up being like 15 to 20 minutes long. The Houston Rockets got the win 193 over the Orlando Magic last night. Once again, it was a nice team win. I don't think people give the Houston Rockets enough respect as a team, but once again, let me not get off into that. That's going to be for another video. James Harden at 14 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. Ryan Anderson still having a great season with 19 points, and Eric Gordon does it again off the bench with 17. He was 3 of 16 from 3, so he had a rough shooting night, but he's been on fire the entire season, so there's nothing really to worry about there. And then Patrick Beverley is another very underrated player, I'd say, in this Houston Rockets team. 17 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals yesterday. Patrick Beverley is once again, let me just save this. Let me stop talking about the Houston Rockets because this video will turn very long very quickly. Karma struck the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday. You remember the last time these two teams played a couple of nights ago, Giannis Antetokounmpo hit the game winner for the Milwaukee Bucks to beat the New York Knicks. This time it was Carmelo who had his revenge as he hit a late 3 basically to win the game for the New York Knicks. Carmelo finished with 26 points, 10 assists, and 6 rebounds for the Knicks. Porzingis also returned, had a really good game, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, 9 of 14 shooting, and 3 of 4 from 3. And for the Bucks, Jabari Parker and Giannis Antetokounmpo played really well. 25 points apiece. Giannis also had 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 blocks and 2 steals. So still out here doing everything. And Jabari Parker had 5 assists and 4 rebounds to go along with his 25 points. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love returned for the Cleveland Cavaliers last night. And of course the Cleveland Cavaliers got the win over the Brooklyn Nets. 116 to 108. Kyrie Irving had 32 points, LeBron James had 36, 9 rebounds and 6 assists, and Kevin Love had 17 points and 13 rebounds. I'm really happy to see Kevin Love. He's still not like shooting the ball extremely well, but he's been playing really good this season. Kevin Love has had a really good season for the Cleveland Cavaliers, being their third option. Andrew Wiggins, 41 points. 41 points for Andrew Wiggins. Goes out there, sets absolute flames to the court. Absolute flames to the court. They still lost. They lost to the Washington Wizards 105 to 112. Andrew Wiggins might have been flames, but John Wall is pretty flames too. He had 18 points, but don't think just because he had 18 points, don't let that fool you. The man also went out there and had 18 assists. 18 points and 18 assists for John Wall, so close to a 2020 game. And Tom Thibodeau, seriously, why are you giving Ricky Rubio so many minutes? 35 minutes, and he produces you with 4 points, 7 assists, and 3 turnovers. You give Chris Dunn 13 minutes. 13 minutes for Chris Dunn. He gives you at least 3 assists. He only shoots the ball 1 time. Look, the season's over. Stop playing Ricky Rubio. Play Chris Dunn. Play Tyus Jones. That should be your rotation. Tyus Jones and Chris Dunn. Get Ricky Rubio out of here. John Wall exposed this man last night. The Boston Celtics won again last night, and they're starting to become one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. They're starting to separate themselves from the mess of the Eastern Conference. They're now 22-14 on the year with an 110 to 106 win over the Philadelphia 76ers, and what was actually a pretty good game. It was a really good game. Isaiah Thomas and Avery Bradley combined for 50 points, 24 points from Isaiah Thomas and 26 points from Avery Bradley. And Al Horford grabbed rebounds. Would you look at that? Al Horford was out there getting rebounds. He finished with 19 points and 12 rebounds. If he could do that just a little bit more, that would help the Boston Celtics out a lot. And for the Sixers, Joel Embiid once again is dominating in the amount of minutes he's able to play. 26 minutes, and he still gets you 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. The Lakers gotta win. The Lakers gotta win. They beat the Miami Heat 127 to 100. Jordan Clarkson and Goran Dragic got into it, yo. I'm not quite sure what happened. I know that Jordan Clarkson wound up throwing Goran Dragic to the floor. Of course, I'm not sure why, but it wound up happening. Both the players got ejected for fighting. Apparently, once you start a fight, once it's actually ruled a fight in the NBA, it's over. It's a wrap for both those players for the night. D'Angelo Russell had 19 points for the Lakers. Brandon Ingram had a really good game off the bench, one of his best games of his rookie season so far. This is why I say it's too early to give up on rookies. I mean, he shows signs of progression. I'm sure, like, not saying like after this, like he's breaking out right now, because he'll probably have like another bad game, but it's still too early to give up on Brandon Ingram. He had 17 points and 6 of 9 shooting from the field, also had 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Chris Paul returned yesterday for the Los Angeles Clippers and got the Clippers the win over the Sacramento Kings. He returned with 14 points and 12 assists on the night. And Austin Rivers had his second really good game in a row, 24 points and 9 of 15 shooting to go along with his 6 rebounds. And JJ Redick and DeAndre Jordan continued to do their thing for the Clippers. DeAndre Jordan with 20 points and JJ Redick with 19 for the Clippers. And DeMarcus Cousins tries his best to get this team wins, but it's just not going to happen. They had a nice 4-game winning streak at one point in time, but now they are on another losing streak. 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists for DeMarcus Cousins. And that about wraps up all the action of the day 74 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already for more daily NBA videos. And until tomorrow, keep getting the Bucks team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!